Hey everyone, I wanted to pop on now that I'm doing things a little bit differently and I have a different focus going forward. Everything's still going around dragons mostly, but as the title suggests, and if you have been following my videos or my account for any amount of time, you may know what this title means. But Chaos Eternal is the title of my dragon father and my dragon guardian. Now just a quick overview. If you're not familiar with Draconic Wicca at all, are the 9 elements of the Draconic practice. The 4 primary and the 5 spiritual. Wind, earth, air, and fire. And then we have spirit, light, dark, maelstrom, and chaos. It is with my practice and my understanding over the many years that chaos serves as the prime of these elements. Mostly because chaos can infiltrate any of these elements at any point in time. But as I have delved into not other practices, but as I've been researching and building my own beliefs and building my own practice over the many years, what I've come to really thoroughly see under the underlying themes of everything is that the beings and the principalities of chaos are really the ones that own everything in terms of matter and reality. And him being one of the chieftains of Draconic culture as we know it, it's just natural that he is one of those chaotic beings. He is many things in dragon culture and dragon society. From what he has told me, though, he has taken a step back and he has mostly just been living in isolation and solitude for grief for many different things for many different reasons that are really not important for you to know. Now, in dragon culture, he does have a lot of authority and sway, but he doesn't really use it. He doesn't need to. He's established the foundation of what dragons should do and what they should be and how each dragon should represent themselves and how they will work within the function of the multiverse. One thing that is really important to note, which I should have said at the very beginning, my dragon father is not a being that you're going to find in any type of lore. I know this may sound like it's personal gnosis, but when you've been a witness to an actual being, and you've been working with this being for many years, and you see things that most people don't get to see, besides seeing a real fucking dragon. The information I've been able to collect, the wisdom that he's bestowed upon me, the magic that I've done on my own with his guidance, it's just astounding. And the thing is, almost everything I know about dragons and know with dragon magic and how I identify with myself and with dragons is because of him. I really don't work with too many beings outside of him, honestly. Over the years, I have worked with a plethora of dragons and different beings when I was Luciferian and practicing different things. But almost exclusively since 2019, I've pretty much been working with just dragons. I know things are going to be changing going forward because I'm at the threshold where more than dragons are required at this point, and I really am not going to talk about it on the channel. I'm not going to really tell people what it is I'm doing or what it is I'm working with because it's not for them to know. But dragons will always serve as the primary factor in my practice. And like I said, for the most part, they have been the core of everything for the last 7 years, and they were the only thing for the last 7 years. And I guess that is an important thing to note when you are working with dragons and you have other things in your circle. It is always important to keep the dragon at the center or at the very top, however you want to perceive it or say it. Now going back to my core practice and my core beliefs with Draconic Theurgy, I know most of the others on the path don't really follow this, or really understand it, I guess. They don't talk about it, so I can't really say for certain. But the ones that call themselves a Draconic priest or priestess, as far as I know and as far as I represent, you really are supposed to be the mouthpiece of your dragon guide. There really aren't any quote-unquote priests or priestesses of Tiamat or any primary of those dragon gods in mythology. But like I said, my dragon father's not one you're going to find in any book or text. But his authority and his presence have been witnessed and have been heard. And I'm not going to reveal in any form or matter. You can piece the puzzle together if you want. It's there. But I'm never going to explicitly say or talk about it. What I am willing to say, though, is that as his priest, I do interact with him more so on a day-to-day basis. And like I was trying to say, when you are a priest, you are supposed to be the mouthpiece of your dragon. Regardless of what you wish to believe or wish to perceive, he is chaos eternal. He is the one civil law. He is the founder of dragon society and culture as we know it. My destiny has always been connected to whatever his desire and whatever he has always perceived for me or conceived for me. Things are always subject to change, and that's what a lot of people don't remember and a lot of people don't understand, is that even in the minds of dragons, there are things well beyond the realm of even madness itself that you cannot reason with, and that means things are always subject to change. And that is a lesson I've been learning quite frequently, more so often than not. One thing that has always been consistent, though, is how he wants me to perceive him. When I first initially understood who he was and what this being wanted to do and what impact he wanted to have in my life, at first I didn't know he was my dragon father, and I've said this before in other videos. But he took on the role of a mentor. I originally wanted to call him my master and be of service and just dedicate myself to him because I knew exactly what it meant to be in the presence of that type of being. But he instantly refuted and denied that title, even though it is well within his right. And even as a priest to this day, even though I don't have the same desire, it still would not be appropriate for me, especially considering the fact that we finally remembered and realized that I am truly his son. And that is multifaceted in its own sense, mostly due to the fact that not my last life, but my last life as a dragon, which is very different, I was his adopted son. I was his chieftain in battle. He would proudly remind me I was the fastest of his flyers. And even though I'm a lot smaller in stature these days, I still carry that swiftness, and I carry it with grace and elegance. And one thing I am willing to say, and one thing I can say confidently, is not just due to the fact that I have been working with him for about a decade now, but even since my conception, I've always been something of his own creation. My destiny was always connected to his design, and to see it be unfolded and just to be a participant of this evolution is just something I cannot really put together into words because of how honorific it feels. Things are coming, and things are changing in this world. Not all of it's for good, and that's mostly what he's been preparing me for all these years. I don't need to be the warrior I used to be as the vigilante rogue shadow, but I do still carry that vicious savage training with me now that it has resurfaced in the form of Scarlet Shadow, if you want to check that out on my channel. And being a warrior, not just in the spiritual sense, but being able to physically handle a situation and being able to take control if absolutely needed. It's something that I'm still struggling and kind of working through, but now that I have had a lot of training and a lot of it's exceeded what I have trained for in the past, I'm really seeing and perceiving what it means to be a dragon. And no disrespect to the ladies on the path. I know there's really no other dragon men on the practice, and they're not doing the stuff that I'm doing, for sure. But being able to move with the strength that is unmatched that you have never felt personally within yourself. Being able to dig so deep and pull things out that you didn't know you fully had within you. The perception and awareness that comes with this heightened sense of like reflexes and instinct, I really don't know how to put it into words. It's more tangible and more, I want to say, assertive and aggressive in terms of like vividness and experience than almost like any type of drug I've ever felt or had. And I've had a lot of experience with even Kundalini itself, and whatever it is that I've really tapped into over the last few months is its own kind of current and its own kind of energy. And even though I am just a spark of that ember of the dragon's fire, being able to carry a little bit of that fire within you and being able to have that physically expressed, I see why they are what they are, and I feel the responsibility that they do. It may feel altruistic, but it's mostly just the purpose of our nature, the purpose of our being as dragons. To live, to serve, and to be of service, to protect life and the balance of harmony as we know it. And that really is the fastest way to piss a dragon off, is to threaten a dragon's peace. I'm not going to get into the details, and if you know, you know. If you don't, you're not going to find out. But very recently, I've had to deal with a lot of physically assertive people that wanted to hurt me. And in a good amount of those incidences, and I'm not exaggerating, I had about a dozen or more people try to inflict violence upon me in the last few months. But a good portion of those, I was able to take things down and de-escalate them, and even make peace with those that wanted to harm me. It's one thing to have the strength to bring a motherfucker down. It is another kind of strength to make peace with that same motherfucker and be good with them a few moments later. And that is the biggest thing I've been trying to master within myself, I should say. And a lot of these lessons and a lot of these things that I've really been able to anchor in and just live on a day-to-day basis is because of my Dragon Father, Chaos Eternal. And what the dragons have shown me and what the dragons have taught me over the years is nothing short of incredible. Not only just the interpersonal lessons that you carry on the value of your heart and the things that impact your moment-to-moment thoughts, but the actual wisdom, the information of not just magic and sorcery, but just what reality is and what you can make of reality. That is what I really want to share with the world. And though truthfully my Dragon Father really has no care for most of humanity, or any mortal to be specific, he does desire for this realm to be of peace, and he does wish for things to be on their own accord, for better or for worse, to be where they need to be. But they are not where they need to be. Things are drastically declining in almost every sense. I'm not going to get into anybody details of politics or economy or any of that. You guys already know. There's enough of it. You scroll to the next video, you're going to see it. But the most important thing, and I think I'm going to end the video with this, is that the dragon's words are of fire. And those words would love to burn and protect any and all who deserve the truth that yes, everything exists. And that those words that the fires, that the dragons have breathed into the creation of life itself, many times over, I should say, those words are the things that are going to spark hope in the more recent coming days. Even if they're not seen, even if they're not heard, the words the dragons will speak into this realm will bring change. And as we're in the middle of the winter solstice, which is just the timing of this, but like I was saying, dragons' words are of fire, and those words are ready to burn. So if you wish to burn with me, follow along. About to get very real on this channel, and for the rest of us. But may you blessed be, may you have a great Yule, or winter solstice, however you want to call it for yourself, and stay safe. Goodbye.